Greetings folks, Iolair here. Today I'm in the Tech Tree Tier 7 German battleship, the Gneisenau. Now ever since the German battleships received their dispersion buff back in 0811, I found that my matches in the Gneisenau have generally been much more consistent and successful, and obviously as a result they've been more enjoyable, and I think this match is going to be a good example of that. Now I'm in division with Jimmy Jazz, who is sailing the Algérie, and we are top dogs in a Tier 7 domination match here on Haven with no carriers in play. Boy, is this some really favorable matchmaking for a Gneisenau, and I really wish I had brought a ship with a secondary build. This is the type of game where the Gneisenau can kind of run wild and do its German battleship thing. But ever since the matchmaker was changed to give Tier 8 ships a little fairer shake and less up-tiering, a side effect has been that the Tier 7 ships have tended to see more up-tiering, and so I've preferred or have elected to go with a tank concealment build for the last 9 months or so for the Gneisenau. But it still isn't going to stop me from pushing in and doing the German battleship thing when I need to. So I'm moving down here on the west flank to support Bravo. Now this tends to be the side that the south spawn fleets tend to favor pushing over to the west here. We can already tell that about half of their fleet has been detected at least at some point over on this side, and I'm going to put in some initial shots, and I'll move a little further down. I'm the tip of the spear on this flank, which is okay. I'm the battleship. I'm all right to do that, and there are 4 destroyers in each team, but most of them don't have very long range torpedoes. So I'm not too concerned in terms of running into torpedoes, but I am concerned. Oh, in fact, there's a very low, well, there was a very low health T-22 as we get first blood. But what I'm more concerned about is pushing too far south too early and suddenly getting focused by 4, 5, 6 ships that, you know, as they appear around this corner of the headland that's to my 7 o'clock position. So I'm kind of putting myself in a kiting posture here, ready to pull back in case I get like 3 battleships that suddenly come around the corner, and I just don't want to get focused out early. I do see the Scharnhorst. He's already pulled away. Here's a reasonably broadside Pensacola. Shots out there. And there's also a Congo. So again, I don't want to push down too far. Well, okay, so if you had any doubts that the German battleships have gotten improved dispersion, hopefully that helps convince things a little bit, although one example isn't a good sample size, but getting a double citadel on a Pensacola at that range is certainly quite satisfying. Turn my attention, well, I think I was going to turn my attention back to the Congo, but this is a much longer range shot on the Pensacola. See, those shells look pretty good. Are they going to land here? And they're going to bracket him. In fact, I think I aimed a little far behind. So RNG giveth, RNG taketh away. So I'm going to turn back down. This is definitely the strong flank of the opposition, but there's enough of my allies that have pushed down here with me that I need to go support them. And again, because I'm the top tier battleship, I need to make sure that my presence is known, and I do some tanking for the team. Ooh, nice. I knock out the gun on the Congo. And again, you can see that the accuracy here is actually pretty good. He has gotten within 10 kilometers, but I did land 4 of 6 shells. I'm going to turn my guns over to the München. So the München is an upcoming premium Tier 7 German cruiser. Nice. Get a torpedo strike to finish him off. That's a ship I'm quite looking forward to. I think it's modeled based on the Kriegsmarine Class M cruiser, which was a light cruiser with 8 guns. As I land a citadel and get my first kill on the Congo, and I'm going to turn my attention now, obviously, to the Nicholas. Now, this is a place where having a secondary build would have been incredibly useful because it would have been much higher accuracy, and I would have been able to chew up the Nicholas much more quickly. I'm going to rotate in here, anticipating the torpedoes. Get my 4 guns out, and I land 2 of 4. That wasn't too bad. Would be nice if we could get a few extra shells on him other than just my secondaries. Let's see how this is going to go. But coming back to the München, yeah, I'm looking forward to that cruiser when she does come out. She is in testing, obviously, in random battles, so hopefully she'll be coming out relatively soon. Next salvo out, and I land 4 shells. All over pens, that's to be expected with this caliber and and that being a destroyer, but I get my second kill, and I can push now in against the Iron Duke. Now, the Pensacola would also be a good choice to go after to try to finish him off. We've gotten a really strong handle on the game already. We've gotten a 4-ship advantage. We have both Bravo and Charlie, so we're kind of raffle stomping this team right now. But things are going to get a little more interesting for me as I push back in toward the middle. Now, normally in a situation like this, I don't like going to chase a ship that's sailing to the edge of the map like this Iron Duke. On the other hand, I don't like having a battleship on my flank. But I do need to turn my attention to the Scharnhorst that is now coming in to challenge the Bravo Cap and also put some pressure on my New Orleans. Now, the New Orleans received a recent buff to get a 25mm bow and stern, and that means he can bow tank the AP from the Scharnhorst. And so he is relatively survivable so long as he still stays, well angled to the Scharnhorst. That was kind of a disappointing salvo on the Scharnhorst. And I'm a little bit of a crossfire here, although only one opponent is targeting me. Thankfully, somebody takes down the Pensacola. Again, I don't like having the Iron Duke on my starboard side, but he isn't targeting me. I'm not sure why, even though I'm the closer target. And I'm going to keep my focus on the Scharnhorst because he's continuing to press in on my New Orleans. That was a pretty nice hit. I get 5 of 6 shells on and get a 10k salvo on him. My secondaries are going off on the Iron Duke, but it's not going to do too much damage without having a full manual secondary build. And the Scharnhorst is giving me flat broadside. He does finish off my New Orleans, so I wasn't able to save the cruiser, but I can get another 6.5k on the Scharnhorst, keep the pressure on him. I can expect at this point that he sent torpedoes on me because of his angle relative to me, so I'm going to stay relatively bow in and be prepared to dodge the torpedoes, or at least try to minimize and keep it to 1 torpedo if I do end up taking one. The Scharnhorst is still giving me a fair amount of side, although he is starting to turn in, and that's the kill. So yeah, because I can overmatch his bow, I have the 380mm guns. That does overmatch the 26mm bows and sterns of mid-tier battleships. So I am able to get pens, and there are his torpedoes, which I'm able to dodge. And I'm up to 3 kills. And in fact, it looks like my damage counter is still ticking, because I think I have a fire going from my secondaries, or at least I did on the Iron Duke. I had at this point looked to try to press in and make sure that I stay in the Bravo Charlie area to help defend our caps, but there's not much for me to shoot at right now. The T-22 is protected from me, I should say, by terrain, so I'm going to turn my attention to this Iron Duke that's on the edge of the map. And when I fired here, I thought he was riding the border, so I gave him fairly short lead. And you can tell I'm a little behind, but I still get a Citadel. And again, I'm landing 5 of 6 shells at that range on the battleship. So the accuracy is definitely there to be able to play the Gneisenau in a much more comfortable fashion. It looks like my Minakaze is actually doing pretty well against this T-22. He's sending torpedoes, although he should be firing his guns too. I had expected that either my New York or my Pyotr Veliki would finish off the Iron Duke, and I had not planned on firing on him again. But he is not down, so I'm going to send out another salvo. Unfortunately, we lose our Alba over in the northeast. And there's kill number 4. I only needed 1 shell. So I'm going to push in because the Zara is pressuring my low health Minsk. And it looks like Jimmy Jazz in the Algeria. Yep, in fact, he does get the kill on the Zara and saves our Minsk. So now I'm going to come in and push in and help defend the cap from the Colorado that's pushing in. But at this point, we're well beyond 900 points. The opposing team only has 100 points. In fact, we just took down the T-22. So good job, Minakaze. And we've got this game well in hand. Now we get to kind of an interesting situation. I see the Minsk closing in on me. I was kind of hoping, okay, is he going to steer ahead of me? Or, well, he rotates in. I'm going to put on my horn here, but it's a little too late. And with the low health that he has, even that short of a contact time, I end up team killing him by accident with a ram. So that's unfortunate. And I go pink for 2 days as a result. But now I want to try to get the kill on the Colorado, partly to defend the cap, but also it'd be nice to get a Kraken. At this point in the game, I'm up to almost 118,000 in damage. Now, I had rotated to my starboard side thinking he was going to continue to go north, and that way I would have his side, but he turns back and he's very low health. So this is, yeah, it's a little bit of a kill secure, but there's the Kraken, and our team is way beyond 900 points, like I said, and just one opposing ship, the Ismail, and in fact, I think the Ismail is going to end up surviving the battle here before the game ends. So, or when the game ends, I should say. Yeah, we're only 12 minutes into the match. This has been a complete raffle stump, but it was kind of a funny situation for me to accidentally kill the Minsk and still get a Kraken out of the game. So one thing to take a look at is the leaderboard. So 119,000, almost 120,000 in this match. I do turn pink, like I said, for 2 days. But if we look at the leaderboard, it says that I have 4 kills. And that's how Wargaming sort of calculates things. It attributes the 5 kills of the opposition, but then subtracts 1 for the team kills. So that's how you get a 4-kill Kraken. So a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but kind of a humorous situation. So I hope you enjoyed the replay and the commentary. Please do leave your comments below. And as always, we hope to see you out there on the virtual seas, and we wish you happy sailing.